Hello, everybody, and welcome to reviewing every single WrestleMania main event in history, but not just the main event this time. We're going to be reviewing the entire show. WrestleMania 40 Night 1 was a banger with a couple of duds, but we'll get to those in due time. Let's get started with my overall results from the show. I enjoyed this night. This was a pretty solid night with a great beginning, a mediocre middle, and a pretty solid ending. So overall, good enough. Not as good as I expected, but I'll take it. We're going to go in match order, starting with Becky Lynch losing to Rhea Ripley for the Women's World title. This was a banging opening match with a kind of out of nowhere finish as Rhea retained after a riptide into the top turnbuckle and then onto the mat, because it seemed like they were going to do a big ending sequence with a lot of flourish, but it just kind of boom, ending. Popped out of nowhere. And that does happen quite a few times during this show. However, I enjoyed it most of the times. This match, great opening. I think that there was a match that probably should have been the opener and would have been better if it were, but we'll get to that in due time as well. Overall, a 9 out of 10. Overall, an 8 out of 10, maybe a 7.5. Pretty good in my opinion. We followed that up with the six-pack tag team ladder match for the undisputed WWE tag team titles. This was an awesome truth match as we had A-Town Down Under winning the SmackDown tag team titles and Awesome Truth winning the Raw tag team titles. There were a lot of great spots during this chaotic match, including JD McDonough. He was climbing up a ladder trying to help Dominik, but he's stuck up there. Oh no, he gets pushed off through two tables, smashed onto the ground. Insanely great spot. A white noise from Ciampa to Pete Dunne from the top of that same ladder. A one final beat by Johnny Gargano onto a table outside of the ring. An insanely good match. And debatably match of the night. I'd give it the match of the night honors, but I could see why other people might not. A 9.4 out of 10. Very fun, very entertaining. We had two great teams win. I did not predict A-Town Down Under. However, I'm happy that they won. Next up was the LWO versus the LDF, Legado del Fantasma, in probably the worst match of the night. It's debatable, but this is the kind of down period of the show. It's not amazing, and I think the LDF should have won, and Dominik definitely should have got his win back, but it was nice to see Jason Kelsey, a former member of the Philadelphia Eagles, and Lane Johnson, a current member of the Philadelphia Eagles, appear and help the faces. Andrade at one point hit a back elbow to Dominik, and I don't know if you've heard, but this elbow is insanely good. Like, the back elbow is a very simple move. Kind of run at them, spin, boom, elbow, and it hits Dominik hard. You can hear it just boom, reverberate like 10 times louder than what I just did. Insanely good spot, but otherwise, at least Dom didn't get pinned. Again, he probably needed this win. But overall, just a nice little mediocre match for the middle of Mania. We love alliteration. We followed that up with, and I hate saying this, the worst match of the night. Yeah, this match was a huge disappointment. Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso, and I wrote a note down for this match. I'm just going to read it word for word because that is basically the only way to describe it. This stone cold match met those expectations with a very slow match, which was an attempt at storytelling but failed extremely. 16 super kicks, by the way. It was slow. There was an attempt at storytelling that didn't work because they were going too slow. They were trying to show that Jimmy didn't want to beat up Jey, but he just ended up beating up Jey anyways. Sorry, Jey didn't want to beat up Jimmy, but ended up beating up Jimmy anyways. I'm even getting them confused now. Worst match of the night. It was bland. It was uninteresting. Jey didn't get that big, yes, Jey finally beat his brother win. It was just kind of a, oh, cool, Jey won. And not even that much. Like, when Jey won, I was just weird because it just popped up. There was no excitement about it. The crowd wasn't popping that loud. The best part of the match was Jay's entrance when he was doing which the entire arena was doing, which was nice, but just not very good. We followed that up with Jade, Bianca, and Naomi versus Damage Control. This really solely existed to showcase Jade to the wider WWE universe, those who don't watch AEW or had seen her much up to this point. And it worked in that goal. It did exactly what it set out to do. It showed Jade dominating all three of the other women, which kind of buries them a little bit. But still, it looked great for Jade. She was able to hit her finisher. Jaded, it's basically just the glam slam, but it looked really good. She was able to get the win for her team by pinning Dakota Kai, and the ending sequence, all in all, was really good, as Asuka accidentally missed Kyrie and was like, oh, uh-oh, and then she got hit with Naomi's finisher. It's basically just an atomic drop variation. I don't remember the name. Then Kyrie got hit with a KOD, and then Jade obviously hit that Jaded on Dakota for the win. Asuka also got whipped with Bianca's hair even louder than Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, was at WrestleMania 37. Go watch that video if you haven't. And it reverberated through the entire arena, which is certainly notable. All in all, this match also continued Bianca Belair's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. She's currently 4-0. She did lose on the WrestleMania 34 pre-show, but it is a pre-show. That does not count. But it also continued Asuka's losing streak, as she's never won a WrestleMania match, which is insane. It is Asuka, and she's never won. It's wild. She better win at 41. Or, you know what? Give her a singles match tomorrow. Or today when this is going up. Why not? Just give her a win. Please. Notable. Anyways, all in all, this piece of the show, the LWO to here, is middling. It is okay. And nothing that notable. The beginning, since I didn't mention it, is a very good way to start off your Mania. Like, I've been like, oh man, I can't wait to see the rest of this Mania. This part kind of got me down a little bit, but we followed with an amazing match. Gunther, Sami Zayn. This match was the most hard-hitting match I think I've ever seen. They hit almost every move they did. If you know wrestling and you're not a mark, you know that a punch, if you're the person I'm punching, is kind of like a wah, wah, wah. I'm not fully just making contact with you. But, their kicks, their forearms, their punches, their power bombs, their chops, which there were like 8,000 of, were all making contact. And Gunther finally got dethroned with a huge boom. An amazing moment for Sami. His kid was there. Insanely well done. Gunther hit, I think, 6 power bombs, and Sami hit 4 or 5 haluva kicks in what was easily match of the night. The main event comes close, but this, for the sake of pure wrestling, is match of the night. On to that main event, the final match of the show. Duh, it's the main event. And we saw Roman Reigns and The Rock defeat Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins. This match was long, very long, about an hour if you combined entrances, and just the pure match was 45 minutes. While going in just a solitary tag team match, it ended up turning into basically a no DQ match, as The Rock kept influencing the referee by saying, if you count us out or if you DQ us, we'll fire you. And referee's like, all right, well, fine, go ahead. There were a lot of great spots during this match, and I give props to Dwayne for taking some of the bumps he does, because at his age, I'm really surprised he did. The best one easily is he's trying a rock bottom on Cody on the announce table. Seth grabs his leg, trying to break things up. Oh, he kicks him off, but Cody reverses into a rock bottom of his own through the other announce table. Folding rock. Seth gets knocked back by this, turns over, Roman, spear through the barricade, boom, everybody's down. That led to the ending sequence of this match, which was Roman Reigns countering a crossroads after Rock hit Cody with the Mama Rhodes weight belt. Cody's like, boom, Roman, spear, tags in Rock. Tag, goes for the people's elbow. Bounces off one rope, bounces off the other. Boom, hits the people's elbow. One, nope, he decides, I'm not going to do that. Waits for Cody to get up, gets in his stance, waits for Cody. Oh, Rock bottom to Cody on the mat. 1, 2, 3. Cody has lost on Prime. Alas. This match was a banging match. It was a little bit slow at times, but during the ending sequence, it really started to pick up speed and become a true main event. We also had a little bit more story building the tension in the bloodline as Roman was getting ready to spear Cody, but Seth tackled him out of the way and Roman speared The Rock. Everyone's like, oh no. Oh no. And Roman is shocked by this. He's very worried. And we're building those little seeds for tomorrow. Will we have, now my dad said not to hope, but I'm going to hope, the Cody Vengers. Just saying. True main event. There's a portion of this where Roman and Cody are brawling up the ramp, and Rock and Rollins are brawling in the crowd, and you see cutbacks of each one of them. And they're just doing little brawling moves. There's nothing that notable, but it takes about 10 minutes away from the match as they go brawl, make their way back to the ring. Mediocre overall, but I do think it is a solid main event, especially because it's not for the pure wrestling. Go watch Kurt Angle matches if you want that. This is one of the best storied matches I've ever seen. As I said, Rock pins Rhodes. Now, I was watching this with my father, and what he said, hi Dad if you're watching, what he said is that this is a great storytelling angle because I originally predicted that Rollins would get pinned, but he said that that would really devalue Rollins as champ. Whereas with Rhodes, it would just be like, oh no, he's at such a severe disadvantage. Come tomorrow. What's going to happen? And I think that that is a very good point, and this was probably the best decision for them to make, having the bloodline get the win. And also, as he said, it's The Rock. He's not losing at this point in his career. So overall, to summarize, a pretty solid opening of the show, a middling mid-card, and then a pretty great ending to the sequence and the showcase of the Immortals. I liked this WrestleMania. I'm going to be giving this episode of WrestleMania, I guess, night, whatever you want to call it, a B+ for having great matches, and the bad matches weren't bad. They were just middling and not that eventful in the first place. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave it down in the comments below, no matter what the result is. Make sure you have a good day, good evening, good night, good morning, good all, good ask, good whatever. Make sure to watch any more or future episodes of this series, and goodbye.